Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to my 40-day restorative yoga challenge. Today is day 25. And I want to ask you, how did you do with the balancing yesterday? How did that feel in your body? And just kind of dialing it back a bit and understanding that this whole restorative practice is about really bringing the central nervous system into balance. And so there's lots of different ways we can tap into and activate the parasympathetic nervous system through yogic practices. And one of them is balancing postures. And so when you are feeling a little stressed, you can give yourself a personal timeout by doing just that, by going into a balancing posture. And the one we did yesterday is relatively simple, pretty accessible for most people. And so that's why I offered that up. Also the pranayama, so the prana shuddhi we did yesterday, the breath practice. So yesterday's practice was just focusing on the nostrils and the eyebrow center. And so all you do is just bring awareness to the breath in the nose and continue to trace this inverted V shape up and down, up and down. And then you can do the left side and then the right side. And then come back to both sides. And just in itself, this is a really sweet practice. And so today I'm going to build on that, and we're going to add one more layer. Okay. Today's card comes from a very quirky little deck. The Oracle, I was going to say Oracle of Echoes. We've done that one. And I did that deck twice. I didn't realize it. So we're actually one deck behind. I'll see if how that plays into this. This is Oracle of Oddities. I love using this deck when I'm teaching Reiki because it has all kinds of body parts and really interesting messages interweaving botanical inspirations with, I guess we need to look at that one, botanical inspirations with the physical body, with parts of the skeleton. And different organs as well too. So this is a pretty cool deck. This is 1, 2, and 3 all combined together with the chakra cards removed and the duplicate cards removed. So the jumper card is beauty. Beauty. And we have several roses all around the skull. And so that in itself is just a really lovely message, and we need to see that, right? So no matter what, how that reflection is shining back on any given day, to embrace that and to find that beauty, right, in our vulnerability and in our nakedness, and when we are feeling exposed, like that skull is. But I'm just going to draw one more. Because I can. Humanity. There's so much on this card. It's really quite something. The first thing I saw was a family. And I wonder if you have invited your family into this practice. And I wonder if there's any way that you can incorporate some of these poses with the entire family, and to perhaps once a week create a family yoga night, even if it's just 2 or 3 very sweet, juicy postures. And like I said, I'm going to make probably 3 videos and link a few of these postures together, so you have short, like a short restorative class. So I will include both these cards in the post for today. Excuse me. Unfortunately, I didn't get that post done for the last 4 days, so I'm a little bit behind on that, but I will get to that for you soon today, hopefully. Today we're going to do a supine stretch. And before we come into that, I just want to revisit the prana shuddhi and the breath. So come to a seat if you're not already there, and you're more than welcome to do this on your back if you're already in Savasana, just listening to me. So allow the whole body just to relax into the seat. And what I mean by that is that you're not holding your ankles, you're not holding your joints. Your joints need to be soft and supple, and you can do that through breath. You can do that through ease by supporting your seat with various cushions and bolsters, blankets, and so forth. And if you're in Savasana, make sure you are supremely comfortable. Bring your shoulders over your hips if you're seated. Bring your chin down a little bit and go right back to where we were yesterday, focusing on the breath in the nose. Feel both nostrils and be aware of the eyebrow center. And as you trace the breath up and down from the nostrils to the eyebrow center, keep the internal gaze still and focused towards the eyebrow center without raising the chin. And just for a moment, expand your awareness, expand your internal gaze to include, the way that I am seated, my knees are in front, perhaps your feet. And if you're lying in Shavasana, it's going to be your whole body from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. And find a larger inverted V. And see if you can breathe up and down that larger inverted V that encompasses more of your body or your whole body. So for me right now, the way I'm seated, from my knees to the crown of my head or from the knees to my eyebrow center. And then release that, come back to the nose, tracing the breath up and down the nose, the nostrils to the eyebrow center. And today we're going to alternate the breath. And I'm going to give you a couple of different ways to do the hand gesture. Usually it's with the right hand. If you're left-handed, you can do it the other way. Then you're going to be, it's just a little awkward because we start with the left side always with the inhale breath. So you want to close the right nostril. Usually that's done with the right hand thumb. You can either keep your hand relaxed into a fist, or you can take your second and third finger and place it on your eyebrow center. So you have a choice. You can either do this or you can do this. And then take 5 breaths in and out of the left side only. If you're using your left hand, it would be your ring finger that's on your right nostril. After you've completed your 5th exhale, then you're going to switch fingers. You're going to release the right nostril and close the left nostril with the ring finger. If you are using your left hand, that'll be your thumb. And then just soften the other fingers. 5 breaths in and out of the right side only. Then go ahead, release your hand. Both nostrils drawing the breath all the way up to the eyebrow center. 5 times up and down. And then we'll move to the alternate nostril breathing. Very gentle pattern. So again, second and third finger can rest on the eyebrow center or get tucked underneath. Close the right nostril. Inhale, left side only. Close left with the ring. Open the right. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Close right, open left. Exhale, left. That's one round. Inhale, left. Close left, open right. Exhale, right. This should not cause any stress in the body. Inhale, right. Close right, exhale, open left, exhale, left. That's two. So just carry on with that pattern. And if for any reason this causes anxiety in your body, just remove your hand and gently focus on the breath in the nose, both nostrils. Try to even out the breath. The same length of breath, right side and left side. The same length of breath for the inhale and the exhale. The next time the breath leaves the left nostril, remove your right hand, place it on your lap, and take 5 more breaths. Both nostrils, drawing the energy all the way up to the eyebrow center, and back down again. Then return to the natural breath. You can rub your palms together. And then cup your palms over your eyes. Just feel the prana, the energy, nourishing the eyes. And when you feel the energy begin to dissipate, you can remove the hands, the cupped hands over the eyes, and just come back. So, a couple of things. One is that this is a really beautiful exercise and really nice for your eyes. If you have any eye strain, it's also a nice way to come back after you've been doing a little bit of pranayama. And you could do this as many times as you want. I believe yesterday I also had you do your ears. And so if you like that, that's a really nice thing to add to your practice. The alternate nostril breathing to begin with, I would do to start 5 times, both up and down, 5 times left, 5 times right, and then do 5 rounds. Inhale and exhale with alternating the breath. And if you're going to use the thumb gesture, then it's moving back and forth this way. Sorry, with the ring finger and the thumb, either with the fingers tucked under or on the forehead. And then both nostrils, 5 breaths. And if that feels okay in your body, and then you could carry on and do a couple more rounds of the alternate nostril breathing, completing with both sides. Okay, so that's a really nice way to invite energetic balance into the nervous system. And that really works well with your balancing postures. So today, what we're going to do is a very simple supine twist. And you're going to need a bolster And I liked this. I added this blanket because I found that my hip that was in contact with the floor, it was a lot of pressure on that hip. It might be something going on with my joint or my muscle, I'm not sure, but it was really nice to have a little bit of padding under the hip. So you might want to do something like this and then get a bolster. Have a couple of blocks handy as well too, in case you need to raise your bolster. So hopefully by now you're kind of getting with the program and understanding we need to adjust and accommodate depending on what's going on in your body, right? Your body and my body is completely different, as is everybody who's watching this video. So the bolster is going to go out front. We are going to restrict the right side of the body first, which I mentioned before, why I recommend that. And your bolster may be down on the ground, your bolster may be raised. It entirely depends on how you're feeling. Something like this. If you have a rectangular bolster, that works really well in this posture as well too. My cylindrical bolsters are quite squashed. Okay, so you're going to bring your right hip down next to the bolster, and then bring the bolster right inside. Bring your knees up, and then lie down onto the bolster. And you're going to extend the bottom leg forward and the top leg towards the end of the mat. So you're coming into a scissor position with your legs. I can tell right now the way I'm lying, I need to adjust my hips a little bit. So I'm going to bring my fingers on either side of the bolster, actually my right forearm, and pick up my hip a little bit just to adjust. That's much better. And then come down onto the bolster, and that is it. Now, when you first land here, this might feel like nothing. But after you've been here for a few minutes, different parts of the body will begin to release. So come to your breath and let go. Your backhand could possibly be extended. I have both my elbows bent and I'm holding on to the front of the bolster. You may wish to deepen the scissor position. And at this point, you may be feeling a lot of pressure in the right hip. Gently massaging the right hip and allow gravity to assist where it is, and lengthening the back of the right leg. Find your breath. You may, some of you, feel like you need support underneath the leg that is towards the end of the mat, the top leg. And if you do, then take a block or a bolster and place it underneath, I would say just above the knee of the top leg. Just be and breathe. If your back is tight, you may feel this in your ribs, your back ribs. Once your body starts talking to you, that's when the posture begins. Deepen the breath and be. Be with whatever's going on. Let's go 11 breaths. And after your next exhale, turn your palms over. Give your upper body a little bit of support. Bring the right leg in, the bottom leg in, and bring the left leg up. And then go ahead and press away from the mat. Move the bolster out of the way and just come down into a fetal position. And if you feel compelled to turn over onto your back, then go ahead and turn over onto your back to give the right hip a little bit of a break. And then gently begin your transition to the other side so you can turn over. I'm going to go end to end. So I'm facing the camera, placing my left hip on the blanket. And I'll bring the bolster right up close to the blanket. Bring the hip right up to the bolster, and the bolster is in line with my side waist. And then extend the bottom leg perpendicular to the bolster. Top leg goes to the end of the mat. And this is where I was saying it might be nice. You might want some kind of a support here. That's not quite enough. I don't know, it might feel kind of nice. Now, on the other side, I did this too. And this is something that I do in a lot of postures. I'm thinking of the straddle posture or Upa Vishta Konasana. Sometimes when you do Jata Shishasana with the bent leg, that whole idea of making sure that this leg feels like it's in the hip socket, not extended beyond the hip socket. So what I did was I pressed away and just drew that hip back a little bit. So everything feels like it's connected, and then come down and rest onto the bolster. And entirely up to you how large these scissors are, how big the straddle is. And I wasn't liking the bolster on one of my ribs, so I adjusted. And then you just breathe and let the body adjust. And usually the first few seconds, it's like, oh, this is nothing. And then the body will begin to talk to you. And so that's when you know where you need to breathe. You breathe, you take your awareness to those parts, and you breathe in and you breathe out. And if you have raised your blocks, if you have raised your bolster, you may need to put something underneath your forearms, right? So, because you want your forearms to also be relaxed on the floor. And if you feel an energetic release, then you certainly can extend further, going a little deeper into the hamstring stretch of the top leg. Or deepening, because if you take the spread deeper, you're going to be moving the hip in a slightly different position, right? And so I want to go back to the humanity card. And I was talking about family time for yoga, right? It can just be a big kind of cuddle puddle, and you don't have to be in silence. You don't have to play music. You can just get into a comfy position and talk and breathe. And of course, you don't all have to be doing the same position. And if that's a challenge at first, you could put on a timer for, 7 minutes. And then if you made it a habit, perhaps it would grow. Keep breathing into the parts of the body that are talking to you. Give them permission to let go, to soften and release. And let's take 11 deep breaths.
And then adjust the hands. Bring the bottom leg in. Bring the top leg up. Press away from the bolster. Remove your bolster.
And make your way down into Savasana. Knees can come into the chest to start. And then whenever you feel ready, soles of the feet to the floor and the whole body down for a few breaths of integration. Move everything out of your way, so neither your arms, hands, legs, or feet are touching anything. And then become aware of the effects of the practice. And as always, I encourage you to stay and enjoy your Savasana for as long as you are able. Be mindful in your transition back up to your seat when it's time for you to make that transition. And again, thank you very much for joining me today, and let me know how this practice is evolving for you. And if you practice with your family, let me know. I'm really curious about how different people practice yoga in their homes, and how during this COVID experience, if that has been something that you have incorporated in any way. Yeah, so stay well, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.